Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sportycast podcast. This is episode 58 of 343. My name is Riyaz Parker, and I'm joined today by AF and Jason. AF, how's it going today? You gave me a good week so far.
Yeah, no, it's been a hectic week, tiring rather. Ramadan starting, so my working hours has changed a bit, but yeah, we move, man, and yeah, I'm good.
Lovely to have you with me today. Jason, how are you doing?
All good, man. Also a bit tired, not for Ramadan reasons. I had to sit and watch terrible last night watching Arsenal play. But yeah, can't complain, man. First time in the quarters since 2010. I might not look it, but I am over the moon.
But as long as you got the result, right? You had to stay up till whatever hour, but you got the
Yeah.
result at the end of the day.
Yeah, sometimes I actually hate that, good teams find a way. I wish we found a way to win it in that 90 minutes because I'm sitting, falling asleep, watching the game, and it's penalties, and it's not the kind of pressure that I need in my life. It's March. Things need to be chilled now. But yeah.
Especially at that time of the night, I guess.
Yeah, 100%.
But we're gonna get into the title race in a bit. We're gonna talk also a little bit about Spurs. We're gonna talk a little bit about some FA Cup fixtures for this weekend that is coming up. Just to preview that a little bit. But we're gonna start off by looking at the well, we can't call it really the decider because it ended up being exactly what all three of us wanted. It ended up being a draw. We're gonna look at the Liverpool Manchester City game that just passed this weekend. And yeah, it ended in a 1-1 draw. Let's start with you, AF. What did you think about the game? Do you think it was a fair result? And yeah, just about the game in general.
So, I think the first half, City didn't look too bad. I mean, we knew it's Anfield. We knew it's going to be a tough place to go to. The City didn't look too bad, but the more the game went on, the more Liverpool got a grip on it. The more they got energized by their fans, and I mean that second half was just a completely different story. And I think City was lucky in the end to come away with a draw. There were some controversial decisions that we'll probably end up getting into now as well. But yeah, at the end of it all, like I wanted a draw, and I'm happy with that.
Jason, I know you wanted a draw. Was it a fair result? How did you feel about the game?
Yeah, it's a fair result for all Arsenal fans. I actually didn't catch a lot of it. I was coming back from Somerset West. I was catching bits and parts, but I did catch that end issue. As I'm watching it and as Doku goes in for the challenge, I'm like, oh goodness, here's the same repeat of like Nottingham Forest. And I'm thinking about how Liverpool somehow managed to get out of it. But yeah, I was very surprised that it wasn't given a pen. I think we throw it into the massive bucket of weird decisions that VAR hasn't overturned or referees haven't spotted or just, referee calamities, I suppose. I don't think any of our anytime scorers that we predicted last week came through. I don't think anybody expected John Stones and McAllister to score. I think Luis Diaz could have wrapped it up for Liverpool. I think when I was watching all of the highlights of it, it was like, he was doing everything. He did everything up until the part where you need to score, and then he just missed that.
Yeah.
So, I'm not going to talk too much about how Liverpool should have won because I'm happy that they drew. I'm happy City drew it now. Swings everything into our favor, and it just means we have to win every game, which involves that very big clash once we come back from international break.
Yeah. I just want to go back to that Doku decision that you just brought up now, and what something different happened this weekend with regards to that VAR call, and the difference here is that Michael Oliver, it was Michael Oliver, right? He was, he wasn't instructed to go to the television screen. I can 100% guarantee you, if you went to that screen, the still of Daku's boot up in the air, being so high, just that freeze frame, it would have been
Yeah,
on that screen by the time Oliver got to the screen,
yeah,
and 9 out of 10 times, or 9.5 out of 10 times,
yeah.
um, that makes the referee's mind up immediately that it has to be a penalty. But because that didn't happen, I am assuming the people in Stockley Park, whoever's making these decisions, they were going according to the fact that Daku's leg was moving down in a very fast manner, and
Okay.
it didn't. I don't think it remained on the player's chest for longer than a second, because I think it was literally just he was going for the ball and he brought his leg down immediately, and
Yeah,
his stud probably caught the jersey or the chest for a millisecond.
yeah.
um, but yeah, that's just my opinion of it. That's just my view on it. Uh, Riaz, I'm curious to hear what you have to say on that decision too.
And also I agree with you actually, and also something that you have to also kind of take into account is that he also got the ball. He did touch the ball as well. Not that I'm taking away from it, like it's a high boot, so it's a bit
Yeah,
of a difficult one. But I think also that what they keep doing is that they keep backing the on-field call, so they keep backing the referee on field. So instead of kind of telling him made the wrong decision, or telling him to go and check the decision that he made, they'll rather just back him and say it's not clear and obvious, and they don't want to overturn the decision, which is kind of understandable, but also in some cases it can really affect the game. So I think because it was so late on and the pressure was on him, he didn't want to give the call, and he knew that if it was really clear and obvious that he made a mistake, they would send him to the thing, but they didn't do that because they didn't think it was clear and obvious, because of all the things that you just said now, AF. Because
yeah,
he kind of quickly brought it down, because he got the ball, and because he doesn't really spend so much time in the air. But there was such a winger challenge. It
yeah,
was such a forwards challenge that he made. And as soon as the ball bounced up, I could see like, oh no, he let the ball
yeah.
bounce. He's going to go in here with a boot,
Yeah.
and it's going to, please don't give away a penalty here. Oh my goodness me. Um, and yeah, it was hot in my stuff. But I
But
think,
his eyes were also just firmly on the ball the entire
uh,
time. I replayed that so many times that I rewinded it, and I just tried to look where his focus was the entire time, and
Yeah.
literally from the time the ball was at its highest all the way down, he didn't take his eyes off the ball. It's not like he knew
Yeah.
another player was coming and he was trying to do
Yeah.
something to put the player off. He was solely going for the ball. But that being said, if that challenge was made anywhere else on the pitch, that's a foul.
Yeah.
yeah,
The referee blows for that. So
Yeah.
there are inconsistencies and stuff. So I don't know where the line is going to be drawn, or where the line should be drawn. But yeah, I guess it's for them to iron those things out.
yeah. I think that at the moment they just give the benefit of the doubt to the ref, to the on-field call. Um,
Which
yeah, like
it's not right. We're feeding a system of mediocrity and inaccurate decisions. Like they're not wanting to send him to that monitor because he's obviously missed it. But they also don't want to send it because what if they give him the wrong information, which they have done before? What if they show
Yeah,
him the wrong part of the clip, and then actually it's like, okay, no, it was actually a good decision. But then you look at it and say, no, but he actually did clip him. And I fully believe that we can gauge the challenges sometimes by a player's intention, right? So if he's intending to go in and hurt somebody, not in this instance, but any sort of challenge, you look at what his intent was. And whilst his intent wasn't to kick it, you have to unfortunately penalize them when they do catch on nonsense in that area. So we've seen softer things being given, like people have just tugged on a collar and suddenly people fall and it's a penalty. We've then also seen last season or maybe a season before where Rodri handled the ball. I think it was at Everton, and there was nothing. So yeah, we chuck it into, I think, the shocking decisions folder. But yeah, that's me speaking from a neutral perspective. From an Arsenal fan's perspective, and I hope it doesn't come back to bite me in the butt and I don't get a lot of Liverpool fans in the comments. But yeah, I think it evened itself out. Nice.
I think we kind of just made excuses for it not to be a penalty there, and we did say it was a shocking decision, so we kind of tried being as as level-headed as possible. Yeah,
Neutral as possible, yeah.
yeah. Even though we really happy with the draw, I feel like all three of us are happy with the draw.
Yeah.
Although, yeah, you are right, Jason. I think that Luis Diaz had plenty of chances to finish it off. He played really well, though. I mean, without his energy, I think Liverpool would have struggled.
Yeah.
Because he's the
Yeah.
one who brought that energy for them. He started the press. He did all the things there on the top of the field to kind of make City uncomfortable, and I think that was very, very important. And it was amazing to watch actually, because the tactical tweaks in the middle of the game, I think were great to see. Like, I mean, while the game is going, you see as it started the first 15 minutes, Indo is alone in the middle and they're struggling Liverpool to kind of press. They're not sure which way they need to go because of the V that City use in the midfield somehow to overload the wide areas. And then all of a sudden McAllister drops in, and then Luis Diaz starts pressing from the front, and everything changes. The whole game changes just by one tactical tweak, and it was amazing to see. Liverpool did play better, like you said, AF last week. I think the crowd made massive difference. They were the difference maker. The Anfield was a difference maker, and at the end of the day, Liverpool did deserve to win it. But 1-1, good result, I guess. We'll take it.
Are we going to talk about this Haaland bogey at Anfield? Because I think what's it now? 8 appearances at Anfield, 7 appearances at Anfield, no goal,
Yeah.
which is that's crazy for a striker as lethal as him, for somebody that you would think would
Yeah.
at least be scoring every now and then. I
Mm.
think the stadium, the fans just get under his skin, and the dude can't perform at all. I mean, they keep on marking him out of the game. He has minimal touches. Uh, it's like concerning from a managerial point of view, because
Yeah.
you are going there as a team that the world expects to put on a show, and
Yeah.
then leading the line, you have this guy that his confidence is like completely shot whenever he sets foot in that stadium. Um, and yeah, I mean, it was another shocking performance from him.
Yeah. But since his injury, he hasn't looked like that clinical Haaland that we obviously know. I
Yeah,
think there was the game against Everton where he possibly scored 2 and he had just come back, right? But other than that, there hasn't been that signature Haaland feel about him. And yeah, he gets something, but even against United, hardly looked like, okay, obviously gifted that goal that he scored.
yeah,
But yeah, I don't know if it was the order of Virgil
yeah.
van Dijk. I'm not even sure if it's that at all, because I
They
genuinely
even
don't
went
believe.
1-on-1.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't know who came out. I mean, obviously Haaland gets the shot away, but they're saying Virgil managed that the whole situation well. But I think if you
No,
play
no chance.
Haaland and if
No
he's in a
chance.
better space of mind, maybe I think he does a lot better with that chance. But I don't know. I think his confidence is just shot, man. But it's it's probably something that will weigh on his mind, right? And when he scores that first one, it's gonna just flow after that. But I
Yeah,
don't know if that's gonna happen anytime soon. He just
yeah.
looks like he's so devoid. Or he takes this international break and suddenly he starts to peak when they have to play Arsenal at home, and then suddenly that's his coming out game again, where he just goes on hat trick, hat trick, hat trick, hat trick, and then suddenly wins Golden Boot. So
I mean,
yeah,
we say these things, but no, it's not suddenly winning Golden Boot. He is leading the race, isn't he? He has the most goals in.
I think
is
he's
it?
like 3 in front of Watkins.
Yeah.
I think
Oh damn. Okay.
it's not a big gap
Um,
though.
Yeah.
so
Watkins is-
now we have to rate Ireland in terms of the gap that he has in terms of the second person in the Golden
Mhm.
Boot. That's how we have to rate him. Is that what's happening?
Yeah, okay.
Man,
It's
the
only
man's a
two.
machine,
Only two
guys.
goals ahead of him. Yeah.
The
And
man
Watkins
is a
is in like some
machine.
great form this season. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
Watkins is in unbelievable form. I mean, he has the
yeah,
most goal assist contributions, I don't know, since I can't even notice that. I don't notice that. But how can we keep Haaland to such a high standard, people? This is ridiculous. Yeah, he hasn't scored,
He's created that expectation though.
but with one
Yeah.
season, you people are creating
No,
the
I mean
expectation for him.
not even this season per se. I
No,
think all of
Yeah.
his seasons he's done
Yeah.
absolute like stats for all of his clubs. Salzburg, and then what he went from Salzburg, he went to Dortmund, eh? Yeah. Salzburg, Dortmund,
So,
all of those seasons. That man's strike rate is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I'm
but
not here,
he's still the type is still ridiculous. He's still they're having the golden boot, guys. Like, yeah, he hasn't scored at Anfield for eight seasons, but he scored against Liverpool before. He scored against every single Premier League club in 1.5 seasons in the Premier League. That is ridiculous. I mean,
Yeah.
he gets marked out of the
I-
game at Anfield. That's fair. Like, he gets marked out of the game because they know how to defend him. Virgil van Dijk's one of the best defenders in the world. They double up on him. They know how to stop the delivery to him because how well they press. So I do understand that he's not doing well at Anfield because he hasn't scored in eight thingies. But Erling Haaland is Erling Haaland. He's gonna score 30 goals per season every season. And
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm definitely not taking that away from him. Like the dude's still gonna score. Like my entire comment or statement was regarding his performances
Anfield.
at Anfield.
Yeah.
Like in a vacuum. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's more than that. I don't think it's anything to do with him. I think it's Liverpool. I think it's a Liverpool City thing. Honestly, I think that the way Liverpool press City is second to none. Like, nobody presses them like Liverpool do, and it stops the way of playing from very deep, which kind of affects the whole team going forward. So yeah, it's interesting to kind of note that he hasn't scored in Anfield eight appearances, which is it is unheard of, like you say. So it'll probably end up happening maybe next year, I guess.
Look
But
here,
yeah,
so I'm thinking about it now quickly, just before we move on from this, and we're talking about Anfield and that sort of fortress, right? And it's developed under Klopp and the sort of energy that he brings from the touchline. And I mean, if you were to pull like a Jordan Belfort and just he's not leaving, he just starts beating his chest, and you just have Darwin Núñez next to him, that's fine. But if he leaves, do you think Anfield remains that sort of fortress? If you maybe get a manager or do they appoint somebody that needs to match Klopp's sort of energy or style at least?
So
Because it's just a
I've,
thought that came now.
like obviously the rumors are that Xabi Alonso is in his name is in the hat to take over at Anfield. And if he does what he's doing this season at Leverkusen, he goes on to win the Bundesliga, the first title that's not Bayern in who knows how long. And he comes to Anfield with that momentum, with that confidence. I think it's going to be crazy. I think it's going to be insane days moving forward. And he's going to take that, he's going to instill that sort of winning mentality in all of the players. It's going to be like Klopp never left, in my opinion. So it depends on the manager that they get in. But I think if Xabi Alonso takes the hot seat, that there's not going to be much change.
Yeah, that's a good shot. I think he's probably the perfect person to take over there because of everything you just said now. But I think that if it's not going to be him, then the first loss at Anfield is going to be crucial because they can let it. Let's say it's somebody else. Who else is going to be able to? I think De Zerbi, or if it's anyone else besides Alonso. As soon as the first one falls at Anfield, the first loss there, they're either going to crumble or they're going to come back and go on a run. And if they crumble, it's going to be very difficult for them to kind of get it back. But I think that but even if it's not Xabi Alonso, even if it's not Alonso, I think that Klopp has kind of instilled in the players themselves. So maybe they'll be able to carry it on, carry that kind of energy going into Anfield all the time. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see for sure. Talking about the title race quick fast, Arsenal, they had to do it the hard way this weekend. Jason, how do you feel about it? Top of the log now.
Young
That's
Ramsdale.
what matters.
Look, sometimes winning 5-6-0 gets a bit boring. Sometimes I also like to live a life of struggle, and sometimes I need to just feel how the other half lives. That being said, I think it was very scrappy. I don't enjoy games like that. I think it's very frustrating when you come up against teams that are not coming to play. And I mean, I sound like every Man City and Liverpool fan ever, but if I was that team, I would do exactly the same. I'm not going to go to a ground and play an open brand of football and then complain when I get hammered 5 or 6. So, yeah, I have to somewhat commend Brentford for trying to do that. I think as soon as we scored, suddenly there were no more injuries. The players were not going down. Every free kick was like taken quickly. Every set piece was then taken quickly. And I was feeling it in the first half. Obviously, Ramsdale, that happens to everybody. I think in Riyaz's first big game against Man City, he had a similar thing where Julian Alvarez closed him down and it literally knocked off the upright. So exactly the same thing could have
But
happened to
didn't
him.
go
And
in.
yeah, it didn't go in.
Um,
But I mean, yeah, it's something that I probably saw coming because he was taking very long and he was going very slow trying to play out. And maybe that's just a little bit of a confidence thing. Maybe it's just a bit of rustiness, fatigue, not fatigue. Yeah, just a bit of sharpness that was lacking. But yeah, it was good to grind out that win. Coming off the wins where it was a bit easier and we're able to wrap it up early, I think it was a good test, and I think it set us up well for last night's game where we had to grind it out. We had to play for longer periods of the game, where maybe in the other games everything's done so early that the performance sort of tapers off very quickly. So that we had to push and we had to push. And it was nice to see that in terms of the goal scorers, we have Havertz scoring again, but it was a different method of scoring where it's not Saka really involved there. We have Ben White, who's also been really good. And then Havertz just been in the right place at the right time. And I think he's been a great signing. I think he adds that muscle up front. And I think last night showed it as well. Yeah, I think when we first started talking about Havertz, and I think I spoke about how he provided outlet for us, I think he's shown that. And I'm really happy. And I think that sort of confidence that Arteta's given him now, you see the guy suddenly trying to drive into space where there were instances when they pass him the ball in acres of space and they just try a simple back pass. And it's like, okay, the guy's got the confidence now. So, yeah, I think we're going to maybe possibly see something closer to Havertz of Leverkusen, where he's playing with a bit more confidence and trying a bit more, contributing more. And yeah, it now means that the title race is there. It's proper because now it's level and there's only 1 point separating. And I'm happy that we smashed those teams 5 and 6 because now the goal difference is going to be very vital.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
level, bro. You won 1 point ahead. Yeah, it's yours to win now. Come on now. Let's get excited about it.
I don't think it's ours to win, man. When we first weren't even allowed to be in this chat, now suddenly,
That's
what about
true.
Liverpool bottling a 5-point lead and a plus 8
No,
goal?
we'll get there. We'll get there. It's not looking that
But
way.
Chicky, can I just say like I think Saturday night was one, even though like you guys made hard work of it or whatever,
Yeah,
but I think Declan Rice put in one of his best
yeah,
performances in an Arsenal jersey on Saturday night.
yeah,
And he was unlucky to not get a second. I mean, that shot that he had sometime in the second half that hit
Mhm.
the corner of the post. I
Yeah.
mean,
Curl
uh,
it. Yeah,
that was it was so effortless, and he literally just went for placement, and you were so unlucky not to get a
yeah.
second over there. So yeah, I was like, I've always been impressed by Declan Rice, but I think
Mhm.
on Saturday night he just went above and beyond, and that's probably his best performance in an Arsenal jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, so I had my doubts firstly because I always thought, when I watched him maybe 2 seasons ago, I thought, okay, no, Declan Rice, good player, great player, but not the figures that were then being quoted, right? And I'll be the first to admit that I didn't watch a lot of West Ham last season. So at the time when we were linked, I was thinking, okay, no, good signing, 105, maybe a bit expensive. Then you watch the first few games when he plays in that lone six, right? And he He's able to cover ground ridiculously. He's able to read the game well. He contributes defensively, offensively, and then you start to see his value in the overall play, right? Covering, he's able to do that. Now you're having all that ability to win the ball where you usually used to win it in our defensive third and then giving passes to Havertz, Odegaard. And now you have him winning it in the middle to final third, which is not giving teams a lot of chances to actually play out. So if they do try and play out and he's able to intercept it, suddenly a quick pass to Trossard, Martinelli, Odegaard, who can also pick a massively great pass. And I think that's elevated our game, and I think that's why we've scored so many goals from like turnovers, because that ability to close down the space and be able to press and to coordinate the press. And last night maybe it wasn't the sort of performance that we wanted from him, because I think he went into more of like a quarterback position, where he started picking up the ball a bit deeper. But I don't think he missed many passes. I think maybe it was down to Porto's good defensive game, and I think they stifled Saka. I think they stifled Leandro Trossard. But yeah, I think Rice, when it needs to, he's stepping up. And yeah, I think we need to send West Ham maybe 50 mil more. And yeah, I'd gladly do it, to be honest, because I think 105 at this point is
It goes down to the system also, though, right? I think he was linked with Chelsea as well, and I'm just thinking in my head, if he went to Chelsea, I don't think it would be close to what he's producing at the moment. So it goes to the system, it goes to the manager, and that makes a world of difference.
Yeah, but also sorry, I was laughing. Also, the thing is, right, he chose us over Man City. Now, imagine Pep with Declan Rice as well. In that period where Rodri was out, like, they would not have missed a beat. And okay, they haven't missed a beat, but there was a clear drop in quality of performance in the time that Rodri wasn't there. So yeah, I'm so grateful that he's actually he's a guy that had his head screwed on properly and didn't want to go to City, He took the long, hard way. A hard-working English lad. That's what we want.
He seems like that type of lad as well. He wants to do it the hard way, the hard-working one. He does seem like that because it shows on the field as well. He puts in the hard yards. He sacrifices himself for the team, and he knows he does all the running. I mean, and smartly as well. Like, he doesn't just run for the sake of running. Like you say, he uses his brain and he knows exactly how to break down the attacks, where to make the challenges. He's super important to Arsenal season. And you can see just in the way also that the attitude on the field as well. You can see he's always organizing, always shouting, always being vocal, which I think is something that Arsenal missed a little bit last season, towards the end of the season, as they, I suppose, ran out of steam. But also Havertz, I mean, at Chelsea, I didn't rate him at all. Like, I thought he was putrid, to say the least. I'll be honest. I don't know where. I didn't know where he plays. If he was a striker, if he was a winger, what he was. He was a cam. He came to Arsenal, and I was skeptical about it, but I'll give him a chance, because you can see that there's a player there, right? You can see that, like, he can contribute somehow to a team. You just need to get the best out of him, and I think that exactly what we said now about Declan fits for Kai as well. I mean, he fits into the team. The manager tells him exactly what he needs from him, and you can see that now. Even like before, let's say before this kind of run of form that he's hit now, in the beginning of the season or in the middle of the season, you could see what they were trying to do as well. You could see how they were trying to use him. He may not have gotten the goal contributions, but he was contributing to the team in general, pressing, making the runs, coming deep, and then allowing the wingers to go, all that kind of things. It works very well with the Arsenal team. And now all of a sudden he's adding the goals and assists to his play. And I mean, it's amazing to see, because he was very, very bad at Chelsea. Like, he was shocking. I didn't think that he was in there, but kudos to him and kudos to Arteta for getting the best out of him. I think it's also something that Arsenal have needed, something different, rather than trying to play through the whole time, all the cute things that they do, and yeah, it adds different into their play. So winning 2-1 against Brentford, getting the top of the log. It's in your hands now, Jason. It's in your hands.
More
Don't let it
stressful.
slip.
Yeah.
Don't let it slip.
Don't be
Nah.
Steven Gerrard, please.
Oi, oi.
Let's move on to the top four. Top four. Well, let's do one of the top four. We speak about Spurs. Oh, actually, I'm gonna let you guys speak about Spurs. Did either of you guys watch
Uh,
the game this weekend?
the fact that Riyaz is bringing up the fact that we have to
Mm,
speak about Spurs, this is amazing.
I'm
And
not gonna do it. I'm
no,
gonna let
you're
you
gonna
guys.
have to do it. We have to get your perspective on it as well. But like we spoke about habits now at Arsenal flourishing and all those things. Timo Werner got the goal this past weekend. So I don't know, like I don't watch all of Spurs games, but like from your perspective, Riaz, do you see a change in his sort of mentality as well since he joined you guys? Does there look like signs of improvement after every game he plays compared to how we looked at Chelsea?
Oh yes, 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 yes. I mean, at Chelsea he was also very bad, right? He missed. Well, it's because he kind of it looked bad because he missed easy chances, and it was a bit dodgy at the time. We play him in a different way. He's just allowed to be on the wing and use his space and do stuff, get into
mm,
spaces, and we use him for that. And he's looked good. He's looked good on the wing for us. Not like getting into any specific places to score goals, but he did score this
yeah.
weekend because we kind of played him into the box kind of a thing, and it was a good finish as well. It went into the side netting, and
Yeah.
he kind of he finished it. So personally, I think he's been good. I would end up buying him, I guess. Like we can
Mm,
buy him from the loan. It's just a couple of thousand, a couple thousand, yeah, a couple of million here and there, and he's a good squad player because
mm.
we're not going to start him every game. We have a lot of good wingers at the moment. We have also Solomon to come back as well. So Brian Shield also, who's probably going to be sold, but he's been good. He's shown a willingness to get forward, which is the important part.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
willingness to kind of try his best. So
Yeah.
I think that's the most important thing. Did either of you get to watch the game at all?
I
No.
literally just caught the highlights. That's how I
Yeah.
knew that Werner scored.
Okay. Did
Yeah.
you
Um,
did you did you see your thoughts on the red card at all? Did you see the red card? Your thoughts on the red card at all?
I did not see the red card. That's
Okay.
like I literally just saw the goals.
Yeah.
Um,
I
who
saw a bit
got
of
sent
it.
off? Who was sent
Yeah, it
off?
felt
John McGinn.
like a Sunday league tackle, man.
What
It just
was it?
felt it's like yeah, that's like a John McGinn. I think every game he flirts with one of those challenges, and I think most times he probably gets more of the ball. But
Yeah.
yeah,
This time it was
also look, I was looking at it before the game week, and I was thinking, yo, Villas actually they're not too far off, right? They win a few games consistently. Maybe another team slips up, and they could squeeze into third. Maybe I'm being very optimistic. Like a few teams need to lose a few games, but watching that game, I didn't expect a 4-0. I
yeah.
was I was following it on my phone and I checked FPL and I see okay 2-0. So I think okay, Villa's known to make comebacks and especially at home. And then when I checked the full time score and I said 4-0, I said, oh, wait a minute. This can't be the same Spurs that struggled against lesser opposition recently, grinding wins out and stuff, and then they go to Villa, which outside the top three, and okay, they are fourth. I think they've shown very good form. Um, but I think Unai did a tactical tweak and he went with like
Yeah.
five at the back as opposed to what he
Yeah.
normally goes. And it's like, as an Arsenal fan who was under Unai Emery, look, pals, it's either going to go downhill or you're going to go on the best winning run and then go downhill. It's like, yeah, there's going to be a downhill period. And I don't think it'll be a massive one like it was with Arsenal because I think he's maybe learned his lessons from that. But yeah, it just seemed like it was in his DNA somehow. And
Was
that's
was the red card like at a vital time during the game? Like, what was the score when
was
McGinn
I
got
too
I
sent
long.
off?
I think it was 2-0. Yeah, I think it was 2-0.
Okay, so it could have. things could have still changed if he
Mm.
remained on, or
I,
was
I,
Villa not in the game at all?
personally, I might be biased. That's why I wanted your guys' opinions on this. But
Mm.
I personally think that Villa weren't in the game at all.
Oh,
Okay.
I think it's because of what Jason just said there. Now he went to a five at the back, and he it looked like he went there. Well, he didn't go anywhere. They played at home. Looked like he
Mm.
played at home with five at the back to kind of not lose the game.
Mm.
So we
which
had
is
like
crazy.
most of the ball. Yeah, agreed. Because they've been doing so well this season when they go out and actually try and
Yeah,
do things.
I was just about to say that if they go out and not worry about who they're playing against, then
Yeah.
they're great.
I mean, they kept City to what, one or two shots for the whole game. When City went there to Villa Park, which is
Yeah.
insane. So it was very weird for them to play so defensively against us. They basically tried to counter with Watkins and Bailey, but we have the Roadrunner at the back, so they got nowhere because the
That
Roadrunner
guy's
was there
sprint
every
budget.
time.
Yo,
Is Van der
that
Ven injured again?
But he injured his hamstring once again, and now he's
he's
gone.
running too fast for his hamstrings,
This
100%.
guy. Ah. I just saw, I still remember I saw on Twitter that night, I was like, Spurs Dutch star injured. And then I was like, huh? What happened? I was like, is this an
Mm.
old article or old tweet or something? And then I opened it up and they're like, now the dude injured himself again.
That's
But
another
is he going
hamstring.
to be out for like long or what? Or is it just like a 2 week, 3 week thing?
I think it's short. I think he'll be back after international break. That's what they say.
Yeah, it's like a grade 1 or something like that. A small,
Mm.
Yeah, because
small.
he was able to walk relatively okay off the field and things like that. So,
Mm.
More
it was,
precaution then probably. He probably
it,
just felt it and
yeah,
he wanted to go
Yeah.
immediately.
yeah, that's exactly what he did it. And you know what's annoying about the situation? It happened because, well, not because, but it happened on an offside shot.
Yeah.
So they played the ball through. The man was offside, but they didn't raise the flag, so he had to recover
Yeah.
and go and slide in there to go and make the block. And
Mm.
then after he slid in to make the block, they put up the flag to say offside, and he was injured after that. And I'm just like, oh
Yeah.
man, this is all avoid. You can avoid this, man. Come on.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think we played really well, which is happy. I'm happy about that because we struggle to score goals sometimes, especially against teams who kind of sit back. So it was good to see that we kind of put them to sword, and we it's because I think both us and Villa we have harder runnings than Manchester United for till the end of the season.
Oh, Villa has the worst, I think. I think
I think
they have to
No,
play
but Spurs
everybody.
have like
Everybody.
City, Arsenal, Liverpool off each
and
other.
Newcastle,
Villa as well, and
yeah,
Chelsea.
and we also have so I think we have almost
Uh,
the same fixtures,
Okay.
Villa and Spurs. But I think United have like a bit easier fixtures, so it's going to be interesting to see towards the end of the season.
there's no such thing as an easy fixture for United.
Yeah.
Like
Uh,
they can be playing against a confident side, and it would be like 0-0 in the 90th minute or something.
Yeah, but then in the 98th minute they would score and they would win, even though they played crap the whole game.
Exactly. That
So
doesn't mean that it's an easy opponent. That doesn't mean
no,
that's
but you're gonna win it. So,
they make hard work out of everything.
but the
But
result
okay,
is all that
we
matters.
aren't speaking about United this episode. Okay,
No,
okay.
we are. I was actually just about to get there because we have a big game this weekend between United and Liverpool in the FA
Ah,
Cup. So
Mm.
we have to speak about United.
Now you have to talk, especially after that good win against Everton. That great performance. AF, give us some thoughts heading into Liverpool, bro. What are your
it's like
feelings here?
from one Merseyside club to another Merseyside club. Like, just leave us
Yeah.
alone. Just- I mean, United didn't even play well in that game. Got
Mm.
2 penalty shouts. Fair enough. Like, they definitely were penalties. There
Yeah,
were
Yeah.
no there were no arguments about like whether
for
those
once.
were penalties or not. Like I think it was Ben Godfrey and
Yeah,
who's the other one?
Burkowski.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah,
Tarkowski.
Tarkowski. Like those were proper, like how do you say tooks
Yeah.
in the
Ankle
box.
tackles, yeah, ankle
Yeah,
bite.
Garnacho. Yeah, it was really good skill from him on both occasions
Mhm.
because he anticipated what the defenders were going to do.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I think he's been one of our better players in the last couple of weeks. I don't think his performances have really dropped. But yeah, other than that, I don't know, man. Like I don't see any sort of progression in United's players. They're getting the wins, which I guess 3 points. That's a good thing. We climbed the table. We uh, managed to be within arm's reach of top four. And but I mean, where's this going? Like I don't see, like, as a United fan, as a United supporter, like where's this going? Like what are we building towards?
Yeah.
Yes, I know, like Riyaz let me have it last time with the injuries and everybody that we have out and stuff like that. But even so, like Klopp had so many people out and he played kids and
Yeah.
he made things happen with them because they all buy into his methodology, his philosophy and stuff. And with Ten Hag, he brings all these, like he has all these kids on the bench, but he
Yeah.
plays like one or two of them, but it just doesn't seem like any of them are on the same wavelength with what he's trying to implement, if he's even trying to implement anything. Last season, we saw signs of him trying to do X, Y, and Z, and then this season starts and he does ABC instead. So I don't know. Like, yes, great that we get 3 points every game, but as a United fan, I'd like to see us actually have a plan in motion of what we are trying to achieve moving forward.
So your feeling for the game against Liverpool, how do you think you guys are going to play, and how do you think it's going to go?
Is this at Old Trafford or is that Anfield?
It's at Old Trafford, yeah.
Okay, that doesn't actually make a difference, to be honest.
You you have a chance. You have a chance, bro.
Like, I think Ten Hag is probably going to go full Emery and play five at the back or something. I don't know.
Well, you guys are playing. You guys are playing now. What 4-5-1 or 4-2, 4-4-5, 4-6, 4-6 or something like that, with 4 defenders and then 6 midfielders.
Crazy stuff like that. But Hoyland is back for next week. He's
Okay.
been training since Monday already. I think Maguire is back also. So I
Woohoo!
don't know what's gonna
Maguire.
happen there.
Maguire.
Varane looks a step off the pace. I'm not gonna lie. Varane, like over the last like 3-4 weeks, he's looked a step slower than
Yeah.
what he normally does. So honestly thinking, I think Maguire might even start the game. I don't know what's happening with our left back spot. Having Victor Lindelof over there, it gives me nightmares, man. Like, yo, you
Is
can see he
Wan-Bissaka and Shaw still
struggles
out?
when he's, yeah, Wan-Bissaka's out. Sure, I think he's back after international break.
Okay.
Malacia, I don't know. There's some rumors going
Where is
around
that guy?
about him at the moment. So I don't think he might end up playing for United anytime soon.
Okay.
And yeah, I think Leacher might be back also. I
Okay.
think he's
That's
done light
important.
training since last week. So I'm hopeful that he might be back as well. But yeah, so some players are coming back. I think Hoyland is a really big plus, because then Rashford won't end up playing through the middle. Bruno
Yeah.
won't be playing a false nine. I mean, all
Yeah.
these players are just like playing in, yeah, like out of position. It's like putting polyfiller over some cracks over there. But yeah, I'm hopeful that all these players coming back will at least give us a sort of a fighting chance against this Liverpool team. They're going to be really licking their wounds after Sunday's result. So I'm anticipating they're going to come out all guns blazing.
Yeah. Jason, your view on the whole situation. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think United have a chance? Yeah. How do you think it's going to go down?
Look, I think that all those players that AF mentioned that are coming back, it's also like a little bit of asterisks, right? Besides Rasmus, who's shown that if he gets injured, he comes back, he plays for longer. Leacher is just a matter of, okay, so how long until you try and go hard into a challenge and you injure yourself? And
Yeah.
Shaw is like, he'll get a good run of 5 or 6 games and then he'll suddenly pick up something as well. So it's like, I'm so happy, and it sounds bad, right? But Arsenal got rid of our head of performance last season, and he's now Man United's head of performance, Gary O'Driscoll. And
Okay.
if you remember the Arsenal, and he had been there for like 16 years, right? And you saw how Arsenal around this time would get injuries, right? When we're in very
Abu
key moments.
Dhabi, bro. Abu
Abu
Yeah.
Dhabi,
Dhabi.
okay. I mean, Abu Dhabi had that leg break, right? And then he
Yeah,
just never recovered since then. But all of the minor injuries that players would pick up around this
yeah,
time, like, I mean, Rosicky would be out, Robin Van Persie would be out, um, all of the main guys. And yeah, I think there's definitely something wrong because guys can't come back and then get injured that quickly,
yeah,
especially when United's not playing as many games as they previously were. Maybe I
yeah.
stand
And
under them. Maybe it's a similar or maybe a bit less, but yeah, it
but
shouldn't.
that's a good point because in January, the performance team and the medical team gave Eric Ten Hag assurances that Malacia and Shaw will be back from injury like in no
Yeah,
time, and that's
yeah,
why they signed off Regulon
Oh,
to
that's what
cut
I was going to
his
ask.
yeah,
loan short. Um,
yeah,
and then a week or so later, they were like, okay, no, actually not. Like Malasia, he's
yeah,
still a couple of months
yeah,
away. Shaw is like he's had a setback, so he's out as well.
yeah,
And then by that time, Regulon was gone already. So,
yeah,
and that was quite early in the January window.
Yeah, it
So
yeah,
I
was.
don't understand why that decision couldn't be made in the final week of the window instead. Yes, I
yeah,
understand maybe Regulon wanted to try to secure another loan move away before the window
yeah,
ended and he didn't want to leave it last minute. But it's extremely bad planning from a United point of view.
yeah. But also, I mean, Regulon's injured now as well. So, yeah, he is out, and Brentford can't use him either. So,
Yeah,
I don't know if it rubbed off on him while he was there, but yeah, I think for the expectations this week, I think United should just go in because there's not much that they can play for besides possibly securing like Europa, which we had spoken about last week, saying maybe they actually don't need any other European competition. So yeah, I think you'd want to go out and just go out swinging. I think Liverpool will be Liverpool in their imperious nature. You know, they'll get all the kids playing and they'll do very well. I think it's up to United to take the game to them and actually show something more. And I think with Rasmus being back, and if he does start, if he's fit enough to start the game and not come off the bench and then get minutes, I think there could possibly be something in there. Um, yeah, I don't want to
I,
venture a score because recently I've just been so bad with all my scores. So yeah,
what do you mean? You predicted that draw last weekend, and it happened. The draw happened. So it's good.
yeah,
You've been good with your
okay.
prediction.
I think if Salah plays and he's back in, then yeah, I think it's like a 2-0 Liverpool.
Okay. Okay. I just hope I agree with you. I hope that United come out and show some fight because that's all we want. Like
yeah,
they,
Yeah,
I mean, just show some grit. Like show some attacking intent. Show that
yeah,
you kind of want to win the game, or that you can win the game, or that you're coming out there with some sort of mentality that you guys can win. Like show something.
yeah,
Unfortunately don't think that they can for some reason. I don't understand why. Because they have decent enough players. Like the team is decent enough.
yeah,
yeah,
Poor Casemiro. I mean, he looked great last season. Looks less great this season.
yeah,
Um, he needs someone next to him now. Whereas last season you could play 4-3-3 without anybody next to him. Now he needs someone next to him, which is kind of sad. But I think I'm gonna go with, just for prediction wise. I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna hope that United actually show something. So I'm gonna
yeah.
go 3-1 Liverpool.
Show show something in the form of one goal.
in
So
one goal,
like in
one
the form
goal.
of intent. Like so they're gonna
Yeah,
play. Like
yeah,
they're gonna
no,
actually
for
want to
sure.
go out and play, and then they're gonna get caught, unfortunately, by some goals.
Yeah,
But it's okay because they're showing like they want to win the game, and they're not sitting back and
yeah.
being
There's
like,
some intent.
yeah. If What do you think? What do you think about?
I I think I'm gonna go with a 1-1 draw, and then it's gonna go to pins, and that will be our opportunity to win right
I'll
there.
take it. I'm
Like
with
No,
you.
no
I'm
more.
with you the other week.
and I think that's what Eric Ten Hag is gonna do. I think he's gonna try to play for a draw, so it
Mm.
does, so it goes to
Yawn.
penalties,
That's
and
terrible stuff.
it's that's like saying something because I feel like that's what's happened sometime this season already.
Yeah,
Where he plays for like the bare minimum in order to
Yeah.
get over the line. And I mean, as a Man United manager, like you have to do better than that. You have to think bigger than that.
Yeah.
true. And I mean that's that. So at least you're going with a positive outcome for the team. So that's good. That's a good start. And to end off, let's do a quick prediction for Manchester City and Newcastle in the other quarterfinal. Jason, let's start with you. Prediction for Manchester City and Newcastle.
Yeah, I think Newcastle has just been injured. I think Anthony Gordon's out now as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's going to be like City 3-1.
Hey,
Yeah, I think I'm going City 2-0.
that's fair. That's fair. I think they've got way too much, and it's at the Etihad. So, I mean, once again, I'm kind of hoping against hope that Newcastle can do something. But okay, actually, you know what? I'm gonna go 2-1 Newcastle. I'm gonna go 2-1 Newcastle just because.
Hey.
Just
Okay.
because. But yeah, that's we've come to the end of the show. Let's plug ourselves. Jason, where can people find you? Plug yourself, please.
Yeah, so at Jason_Ronnie, Instagram, X, TikTok, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Threads as
Busy
well.
last night on the X, eh?
Yeah, man, I was nervous tweeting. Yeah, Arsenal did that to me. Also, every week I say that I'm active there and I'm not. I just do a lot of retweeting, so I thought, you know what, let's actually put some of my thoughts that go through my mind as the game was unfolding. But yeah, then it just got to a point where I was too nervous to even look at my phone, so I just ended up standing behind my chair watching the game. So yeah, that's where you can find me.
AF.
Yeah, I'm at AFParker642 on all socials. If you think of a social, I'm probably there with that handle. Yeah, come chat, come interact, and talking about TVs, movies, sports, everything.
AF's the man of many talents. There he is all the jack of all trades, master of everything. You can catch me at Riyaz.Parker, Riyaz Parker 7 on Instagram, I think it is, and at Parker_Riyaz on Twitter, on X, and follow the channel, Sportycast, on all the things. Share the video, like the video, help us for the algorithms. I think that's what it's called, an algorithm.
Yeah.
You know,
You
different
exposing yourself here today, brother. You like, yo.
on the Sportycast handle, like our Threads account is like we doing like a lot of interaction on there. CID is actually like running with that majority of the
Yeah.
time. So
Yeah.
if you want to interact with us, like hit us up and yeah, we'll interact for sure.
Thanks for watching this episode, guys. And thanks for joining me, AF and Jason. It's been great as usual, having the lads together. We will be back next week with another episode. But until then, goodbye.
Cheers.